Hello and welcome back to my channel. I was going to post a video about coming out today, but literally everything has conspired against me. It is like raining outside. Not raining, but it's like really cloudy and it looks like it's gonna rain. And just there's been a lot of problems. So I thought I was gonna do like a little bit more of a mild video versus my coming out story because that's a little bit dramatic, so we'll save it for another week. I'm just gonna talk to you a little bit about bad passing advice, because I was talking with some of my FtM friends about this, and there is a lot of bad passing advice going around on the internet. So here's like my little video about my opinions on that subject. Before I started testosterone, I had it in my mind that I was not going to pass for at least 1 year on testosterone. And I also knew that there were cases in which people didn't pass for up to 5 years on testosterone. Like, after 5 years, pretty much everyone passes unless they have some sort of, like, medical condition. I think nowadays, the standard for passing is about a year, and people who don't pass after a year on testosterone feel really insecure with themselves. And people who can never start testosterone or don't want to start testosterone for various reasons also tend to feel a little bit insecure about themselves and passing privilege and all that. Testosterone doesn't necessarily make or break you passing, but it can help a lot. And really, testosterone is going to affect different people in different ways. So thinking that once you start taking testosterone, a year in, you will definitely pass, that is a mistake. And thinking that you won't pass after a year is also a mistake, because the fact of the matter is you don't know what's going to happen or how testosterone is going to affect you. I certainly didn't, because I thought that it was going to take at least a year for me to pass on testosterone, and then maybe it would still be kind of dodgy, because I'm someone who likes to wear makeup, and I'm someone who doesn't dress in a super gender-conforming way, so I thought that I was going to have to wait until testosterone had really done its job before I would start passing. What I did really was that I just stopped trying to pass, and I dyed my hair like lavender, and I wore makeup, and I wore glitter, and I just did not give a fuck, because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pass eventually anyways, like maybe 5 years on testosterone, and I can't deal with the mental pressure of trying to like pass every day, and I'm just gonna choose not to pass until testosterone does its job. Well, 5 months on testosterone, I started passing. And not just passing occasionally, but passing consistently. And the reason for that, I think, is because my voice has dropped quite a bit. There's been a few times I've been misgendered, but I would say that my passing rate at this point is 75 to 80%. And usually when I get misgendered, it's because I haven't spoken. But as soon as people hear my voice, they're like, that's a guy. So I wasn't expecting that. So that's why I think that it's kind of important that you don't set yourself up to expect anything. Because I have read stories of people online who start testosterone and 2 years in, they still don't pass. But I've also read stories like me where I start testosterone and then 5 months later, suddenly I pass and I wasn't even trying. Really, it's how you individually are affected by testosterone. Now, for people that are pre-T, you're gonna read a lot of really bad advice on how to pass. Because when I was first starting to transition, I googled like how to pass, you know, as a guy and all this and that, and I'm gonna go through the main bad ways that people tell you to try and pass. Way number one, people tell you that you need to lose a lot of weight and that you need to weigh like nothing and that you need to destroy your curves through dieting. This is horrible advice for a lot of reasons. First of all, that is terrible advice because it may cause someone to develop an eating disorder. I know a lot of trans people, a lot of trans guys, who have developed eating disorders because of this specific issue of thinking that if they are underweight, that they will look more masculine or look at least less obviously feminine. This isn't true, okay? There are a lot of fat FTM people who do pass, and it is totally fine to be overweight. If you want to make a decision that you want to become fit, that is one thing. But do not think that by losing a ton of weight, you are going to pass, because this is another thing where it's very individual. I know people who are quite thin who don't pass, and I know people that have suffered some really horrible eating disorders because they thought that losing a lot of weight would make them pass. Passing is more of a cumulative thing of how masculine you look overall, and it's not worth it to lose a ton of weight to attempt to pass when it might not even help you pass, and then you wind up with this eating disorder that really screws up your life. So please do not believe that you are going to pass if you are underweight. So just say no to that. Second of all, I see the same kind of like weird gym culture thing I see all the time where it's like, in order to pass, you have to have the most built muscular body of all time. And that can also cause various eating disorders. There are people that do develop anorexia as guys because they want to look more muscular, or they think that they're going to become more defined or lean or whatever. Again, body types don't necessarily mean that you're going to pass. Really, yeah, there is a percentage of trans guys out there who are like really buff and look like really cis or whatever, but that's a pretty small percentage. And also just, you know, you don't want to go into the gym thinking that your goal is to attain this perfect body and that you're going to pass and blah blah blah. Because anytime that you start a diet or start a fitness program for other people, you're already making a mistake. So if you're trying to lose weight so that you can pass, or trying to gain muscle so that you can pass, you're already in the wrong state of mind, and it's a dangerous state of mind that can lead to eating disorders and other issues. Only start working out or trying to lose weight if you're trying to work on your health and that you know that this is a form of loving yourself. Never start a diet or start working out as a form of self-hatred, because that is definitely very dangerous. I know that's really difficult with dysphoria, but trust me when I say that it is not a good idea to start working out or start a diet because you hate yourself or because you think that this new body that you achieve is going to solve all of your problems, because that's just not true. I'm someone who did lose a lot of weight in high school. I lost around 50 pounds. Let me tell you that just losing weight doesn't make you necessarily happier if you have other stuff going on in your life. Because I had all these dysphoria issues, I thought that losing weight would really help me, but really it didn't change anything. I still felt dysphoric. And if you have dysphoria problems, losing weight isn't necessarily going to solve that. It might, like, you know, aid some of the dysphoria, but dysphoria has this nasty habit of just moving around. So really don't set yourself up for, you know, emotional heartache by thinking that losing weight is going to make you pass, or becoming muscular is going to make all your dysphoria go away, because it's just not true. It's just not realistic. Don't do it. That's really bad advice. Next bad advice that people get on passing is, you must destroy all personal style that you have in order to pass. I just think this is nonsense, because really what you do need to find is a middle ground, because there is a line in society that you will find in whatever area you live in of how much personal style you can have that is maybe more feminine, and how much, you know, masculine style you should have in order to pass. For me, this was greatly fixed when I went on testosterone, because, again, I wasn't trying to pass. So really, people saying that you're never going to pass if you wear, like, more feminine things, if you dye your hair more feminine colors, whatever, that's not necessarily true. You just have to find a balance. You have to find a balance between being true to yourself and also, like, editing yourself enough to pass, and a middle road where you're not miserable either way. Because if you get rid of all of your personality and your looks, you're gonna feel pretty upset, because you'll be destroying part of yourself that deserves to exist. I wear makeup almost, you know, very often. I wear makeup, but I pass just fine. So yeah, again, try and find a middle road. And then third of all, I've seen like some specifically bad passing tips that I would like to address. The one that I saw that like really just made me go, what the heck is this person talking about, is there's this misconception that long eyelashes are feminine, when in reality they're neither masculine nor feminine. A lot of different people have long eyelashes. If you go and grab some random like cis guy's face and like stare into his eyes, he may have really long eyelashes. I saw some terrible passing advice one time that was like, take a pair of scissors and then try and cut up your eyelashes, because then it'll look shorter and you will look like more masculine. Please don't do this. Just like anything that tells you that you should be putting sharp objects near your eyes is inherently wrong. And also, you will pass just fine with long eyelashes. If I can pass with mascara, then you will be able to pass with long eyelashes. That is not the make or break of whether or not you pass. Like, a lot of this bad passing advice just tells you that you need to destroy any aspect of femininity about yourself, and that's not true. Really, passing is just about adding a few masculine traits to yourself, or enough masculine traits to yourself that you begin to pass. Whether you do this with testosterone, which I believe is the easiest way, or you do this through like just changing how you act or how you look or whatever, you will get there eventually with practice. But the last thing that I would want anyone to do is to think that because they're trans, they're not allowed to be themselves, because that should never be how someone feels, and that's not the reason that we transition. We transition so that we can be more of ourselves, so we shouldn't feel like in order to pass or in order to follow society's expectations that we need to destroy various aspects of our personality. We need to cut up our eyelashes or whatever so that we can, like, pass as guys. That's not good. And especially when you consider what passing actually means is being presumed cisgender. That is kind of an oppressive thing within itself. I hope this video made sense. I hope that you got something from it if you're a young trans guy that's just trying to start to pass. I appreciate everyone that likes and subscribes. I'm sorry that my lighting today is just awful and, like, weird. I will try and get that fixed next time that I record, and hopefully this video was in focus, because I don't know what I'm doing. If you like this video, like it, maybe subscribe, maybe leave me a nice comment, or tell me what you would like me to do in future videos. I'll try and make videos that are interesting. So thank you so much. I'll see you around next week. Bye bye.